Hello and welcome to Fast Forward Newsline. I'm David Kattenberg. Today on Fast Forward, our rapidly changing planet. Are humans actually transforming Earth geologically? And who's to blame? With me in studio today is Sarah Aronson. Sarah is a freelance journalist and playwright. Her work has appeared on CBC Manitoba, the Community News Commons, and she's also a longtime producer for CKUW, University of Winnipeg Radio. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks, Dave. I'm glad to be here.
Sarah, tell me about this recent report that has appeared in Science magazine earlier in January about the Anthropocene. What is this?
Sure. It has quite an unwieldy name. The Anthropocene is functionally and stratigraphically distinct from the Holocene. So what it is basically saying is that because of recent changes that human beings have made to this planet with our activity, we are now entering a new geological era. Unlike the last 12,000 years of human history, which have been called the Holocene, this new era is characterized by human influence so decisive that we're changing our planet.
And we've actually left a stratum in the rock and in the sediments. Tell me about this.
For sure, yeah. We have actually spread human-made materials all over the planet. So, for example, concrete, plastic, black carbon, ash, chemicals like polyaromatic hydrocarbons, PCBs, pesticide residues, lead, industrial metals, and rare earth elements.
And radioactivity.
Oh yeah, definitely. From basically nuclear weapons tests starting in the 40s and 50s, there are actually isotopes in the ground that are not going to they're going to be giving a signature off for 100,000 years.
And I mean, it's amazing, not surprising, vast amounts of plastic.
Oh yeah.
Aluminum.
Oh yeah, vast amounts of that. As well, we have a huge amount of nitrogen and phosphorus. The amount of nitrogen and phosphorus in the soil has doubled.
From agriculture.
From agriculture in the last 100 years. As well, we're looking at, if you look at the ice cores that are taken from places like Antarctica, Greenland, you're seeing increases in carbon dioxide, you're seeing increases in methane that are huge. As well, we also have sea level rises, and you can actually look at the sediments and tell when sea levels are rising rapidly. And we have a temperature increase of between 0.6 and 0.9 degrees Celsius from 1906 to 2005. As well, we have increased rates of extinction of species and the movement of species all over this planet.
Is this controversial, Sarah, for scientists to be coming forward with a new term for a geological epoch that humans have heralded in? Is this a source of debate?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a source of debate, Dave. It's not the science that's under debate, the fact that we have made all these changes, and I think that's the most powerful aspect of this article, that it really does show that the science does demonstrate we've made this decisive change. But when it comes to the name of this new era, the Anthropocene, there is quite a bit of debate, and that's because the word Anthropocene basically means the age of man, and it's talking about the human species. So there's this sort of implication that it's something in the nature of human beings that have caused these changes. First, we were able to create fire, therefore the fossil fuel economy just naturally followed. And so it's not clear what the political implications of this particular term are.
And so the idea is that it's not the human species that's really responsible for this. It's modern capitalism, it's industrialism, which really only a tiny, tiny fraction of the population on Earth has had any responsibility in driving. Is this the idea?
Well, yeah, that's the idea. Like, scientists don't have a background in sociology or economics or history or politics, so they don't understand in the last few hundred years the dynamics of the capitalist economy and how it works and how a small elite has basically been responsible for these technological changes.
So why should this matter? I mean, if human beings have indeed transformed the surface of the planet, I mean, why do politics and economics matter? Perhaps we should just be doing something about it.
Well, the problem is, depending on how you name the problem, you're going to get a different solution. For example, the term Anthropocene has been adopted by people in coming from a wide range of backgrounds with a wide range of goals. The person who first first coined the term, Paul Crutzen, in 2002, his article said that because human beings have this tremendous capacity to transform the planet, that means we're super powerful, and this is now like basically the era of human dominion over Earth, and we are now responsible for using our technology to fix what our technology has caused.
Geoengineering.
Exactly. So
Which
that's
would be an incredible irony that the realization that we've transformed the surface would actually provide momentum to continuing to do it.
Exactly. I mean, now the corporations can go and fund these giant projects and make even more money off whatever they're doing, putting mirrors on the planet to put solar energy back into space or whatever they do. So there's no political critique in this. It's hard for an environmentalist to sink their teeth into this. And people have even suggested, well, why are we calling it the Anthropocene? Why don't we call it like the capitalist scene or something like that? Because we're not really putting our finger on the cause, the proximate historical cause of this phenomenon.
So have you encountered in your reading, Sarah, any ideas coming from the progressive environmental community suggesting a way that we could parlay this into something useful? Like, how could this change the way we behave in a positive way?
I'm afraid I really haven't seen anything specific in the environmental press. I've been reading more of the mainstream press, and the mainstream press seems to think this is a great advance. They're saying, welcome to the Anthropocene. The
mainstream press is saying, welcome to the Anthropocene.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's hilarious. And why? Well, why should people be thinking such a thing?
Well, I think it's good in one way, because it goes against people who would deny that there is such human-driven change to our Earth system, and it shows that it's not just global warming that's the problem, that there's like a whole package of things that go along with it. So to say it really says, wow, there has been a huge difference, and wow, things are just not like they used to be. Like our grandparents did not have the concrete in the world that we do. And that is a tremendous thing to acknowledge. And it relates to your theme of the rapid pace of change. The fact is that half the concrete on this planet was placed in the last 20 years. Plastics were only invented in the early 20th century. If you look at the increase in production of concrete, plastic, aluminum, you have these sharp curves starting in the mid-20th century. And so I think what's important about this term is it just gets people to think, wow, the change has been so rapid. But I'm concerned that a bunch of scientists without that geopolitical economic background are the ones that are tasked with the responsibility of naming this new era.
Thank you so much for joining us, Sarah, with a complex but fascinating story.
I'm glad to be here, Dave.
You've been watching Fast Forward Newsline. A fresh edition comes your way within this little box each week at around this time, thanks to the Government of Canada and the Social Justice Fund of Unifor for their generous support. You can be a sponsor of the Fast Forward Newsline. Send us a note at greenplanetmonitor.net. My name is David Kattenberg. Bye for now.